Hi, I'm Tiffany. Welcome to Towering TBR. So, I have read, loved, and own the original Hunger Games trilogy. I then picked up Ballad of Songbird and Snakes, and quite honestly, I was pretty disappointed with it. So, I wasn't super on the hype train to pick up Sunrise on the Reaping, but when I found out it was available on Hoopla with no wait times, I decided to jump right in and give it a go. Honestly, I was unprepared. I probably should have reread the original trilogy and the other prequel before popping into here so that I could make sure to make all of the connections. But I will say I definitely remembered plenty, and I don't think I messed it up. But I would advise, if it's been a long time since you've read The Hunger Games, to probably brush up on it. That way you don't miss any of the connections. This is going to be a non-spoilery review for Sunrise on the Reaping, but I will assume that you have read the original trilogy, and so there could be spoilers for that. So, if you have not read the original trilogy, bookmark this, save it for later, and come back after you've read those three. Summed up, this was an extremely timely dystopian novel about an oppressive regime and the importance of fighting back. I thought this one was nearly as good as the original trilogy, and I gave it 4.25 stars. So, this is Haymitch's story about his time in the games. It is the 50th Hunger Games and also a quarter quell. You might remember from the first book that quarter quells each had a extra horrific twist, essentially, and during this quarter quell, they are reaping twice the amount of children. So instead of reaping 2 children from each district, they reap 4. When we first meet Haymitch, he is just this 16-year-old boy, happy, in love with his girlfriend, Lenore Dove, and just trying to get by. I remember thinking, this does not sound like the Haymitch character I know at all. When we meet him in the other 3 books, he is kind of this broken shell of a person, and this book explains all of the reasons why. It almost felt a bit fan servicey how many of the previous characters were in this book. Plutarch Heavensbee had a much larger role in this book, and I really liked the added complexity to his character. We also get to meet several new characters as well. I don't think it's a spoiler to say that Haymitch is one of the children who is selected from District 12. He and his girl have one last goodbye, but both refuse to cry, saying that they will not use our tears for their entertainment. It is his first act of resistance, but not his last. While they're on the train to the capital, their handlers are just downright sociopathic, calling them animals. And a peacekeeper even mentioned that they used to move tributes in cattle cars, which definitely evoked images of the Holocaust. President Snow is at maximum evil in this book, and he colludes with the media in order to edit out anything that makes him look bad. The horrors of this game were especially grim, but the message could not be any clearer. Unfortunately, it's a message that many of us need to take to heart right now. Sunrise on the Reaping was a fast-paced, compelling read, and I didn't ever want to put it down. However, I do have 2 small gripes. The first is that Haymitch's girlfriend, Lenore, was named after the poem The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe, and the amount of times that part of that poem are remembered or recited became really repetitive, and it almost felt like she was trying to pad out the word count by writing this poem into the book several times. Um, that got a little bit annoying. The other issue I had was that some of the connections felt really contrived. Like, you have a character who says another character's catchphrase without knowing it. Like, that didn't feel realistic. There are a couple of examples of things like that, but honestly, that's just pretty much nitpicking. So overall, I would highly recommend this. If you have Hoopla, you don't even have to wait. The audiobook is available there. I would advise that you read all 4 books before you read this one, or else you will get spoilers. I loved Haymitch. I thought he was a complex and layered character. I was impressed by the additional world building and understanding more about Panem. The themes couldn't be more timely. and I found it a welcome escape from my current dystopian reality. I heartily recommend it and definitely think it's worth the hype. So, are you planning on picking it up? Have you read it already? What did you think about it? Let's have a chat down in the comments below. Please keep it spoiler free. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye.